moved into our next topic, the income inequality.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? And that's from everywhere, from color, race, location. And they're going to always negotiate you on cost of living.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where you're a system analyst in California, you look at the median income is $120,000. You're here in
the cost of living is insane.
You're here in Arkansas, and now you're doing the same work. You know what I mean? And you're getting $70,000, $50,000, and you feel like something should be in place like that. You know what I mean? You have the same degree cost the next amount of money, but and that's a good one where you can argue cost of living. Sometimes you're not making the same amount of money. The only difference between you and your colleague is you're a male, she's a female.
Right.
You know what I mean? Things like that, and we're trying to bridge those gaps, and we're making they say we're making progress, you know what I mean, with the glass ceiling and things like that. But things aren't fair. You get especially if you're trying to go with entry level jobs with high turnover, they'll put you in there and there's no negotiation with the pay. There's a ceiling there, you know what I mean? So that just feeds our point when you're talking about
and another thing to
being
think
a
about.
Professional.
Another thing to think about is you don't want to give anybody a reason to disqualify you for anything while you're in the corporate world. It's just like sports. Do you have the stats to back up what you're asking for? You can't. What's a linebacker? Jason Sehorn can't go in there and say, I want Deion Sanders. That's a cornerback. He can't say, I want Deion Sanders money, and you don't have the Deion Sanders stats and skill. You can't.
I mean, one time they were comparable, and we're talking about 6'2" corner.
Never comparable.
A 6'2" corner.
This dude oversold. That's like the furniture store. That's like the furniture store telling you we compare to Hank's Fine Furniture. No, you don't.
Listen, we're talking about a guy that's sick. He was a break zone guy, and for a guy that tall, we're talking about speed and range.
What speed? I didn't see the speed. I'm just saying. I mean, it's just like was the guy who was Adam Archuleta talking about he wrote a 4.3. You're right.
I don't think you can.
4.3 what?
I'm sorry, Adam.
Sorry, Adam. I'm just telling you facts though. He said he ran a 4.3. Then you look at the game film. It's like they don't look.
But it was explosion. I mean, he had a revolutionary way to work out. We wish we could, wish he'd come back and really show us more of that. But
that is a great point because he sold it by having the videos. He had the highlights cut and he was showing them exploding. So it made him look like he was fast. But in game time, it was different. And that's the same thing about high turnover equality because if you don't have that skill, you're not able to market yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can end up in this category real quick.
And we're talking about this second category. I think sometimes it's sensitive, and when somebody opinion of you will set your pay, like the impression you make also matched up with your resume, and like you said, your stats is determined by a person or a group of people. Because some of them don't have, like, you apply or you see a job opening, they don't have a set pay. It just says negotiable.
Right. The
entire thing. You know what I mean? They don't want to pay you the max. Yeah. And where income inequality comes in is when me and Mike here, we have the same stats. We have very similar backgrounds and things like that. And he's being paid significantly more than I am.
Right.
And that's a huge issue. And it's sometimes, a lot of times, it's not a big thing in low-paying jobs, but it's everywhere. It is in low-paying jobs as well, but in high-paying jobs, and you're making significantly $10,000, $20,000 more than me. You're in the same position, you know what I mean? Or you get this thing even in regular jobs or 9-to-5s or things like that that's not sales-based and things like that.
Right.
You have people who've been in a job with 10, 15 years experience.
Right.
Things change with the economy and cost of living. Mm-hmm. A person with 2 years experience coming into the job can make more or equal to a person that's been there for 20 years.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And the red tape, the bureaucracy can leave that 20-year veteran with the same pay or less pay. and you can go to a supervisor. And honestly, a lot of companies have a policy where you're not supposed to discuss salaries between each other. And that's a law that's specifically there to protect the company, not you. Whose best interest is that going to? And it's not the employee.
And then